I think when we look back over your life and have an opportunity to kind of reminisce about the things and the places that you've been and from whence you came, you have a tendency to remember certain things. You know, I can remember when I was a little boy growing up in the Liberty City area of Miami-Dade County, growing up on 15th Avenue and 59th Street. My address was 1521 Northwest 59th Street. And we had such a wonderful family, man. My mom, my dad, 3 brothers and another sister. And we were just great kids coming up in a community that was a village. And the village itself looked out for everybody. Everybody took care of each other. And it's just a pleasure that I'm in a position right now where I have that opportunity to look back and reminisce about it. I am blessed. I've always been blessed. God has shined a light upon me, and I thank him for it, but I stand on shoulders of those that came way before me. You know, I thank my parents who never got the opportunity to see me do what I do now. I thank my brothers and sisters for always being there, making sure that making sure that we were safe in our community. And I thank all my neighbors, and I thank my friends' parents for being that village. The old saying goes that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I was part of that village, and I'm the product of that village. So it's been a great experience. It's been a great ride. This journey through life has been wonderful. And just to think that this little boy from Liberty City has grown to be the mayor of the 3rd largest city in Miami-Dade County. So that is just incredible, and that's an awesome testament to my parents and those who played an integral part in raising me. But I've always wanted to be in a position to help people and to help especially the younger generation that's coming up, because somebody once took it upon themselves to help me. And again, like I said, I stand on shoulders that are bigger than mine. But if my shoulders are any indication that I can help another person to come up in life, then that's exactly what I plan on doing, and that's what God has intended me to do, to help some other people that may not have been as fortunate as I am. You know, the inspiration has been to be able to see young people and to understand their lives, because I was once one of those young kids. I grew up in poverty, and I understand the roles that you play as you grow along. You have to reach back and pull somebody else back up with you as you go through this journey called life. Yeah, we have to pay it forward. You know, when I was a young kid, we had business owners in the Liberty City area that saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And so they took opportunity. Had coaches that took opportunities and gave you an opportunity. And I wanted to be able to be in a position to do just that, to give back to the community from whence I came and to the community that I serve now. As a juvenile probation officer, every day of my life for the past 33 years have been to try to assist these kids and get them on the right track and mold them and shape them and hopefully be that role model or that inspiration for them to be able to move their lives forward so that they can go forth and be productive citizens in their communities. I was fortunate enough to coach Optimist football with some of the babies, and then I was fortunate enough to go back to high school coaching. I coached on the college level once upon a time, learning how to really listen to those kids, and then being a part of the Miami Northwestern Senior High School coaching staff back from 2004 to 2011, we had opportunities to get kids from the inner city. And what we used to teach those kids were how to be great young men, more importantly than great football players. We told them that their greatness comes from being a part of a group and an organization, but working together. That individual accolades will come if you stay tight-knit as a group, and then you're stronger together that way. We took a group of kids that people have gave up on, and a group of kids that are now great men in our community. look at my son. My son is a fireman now with Miami-Dade County. You know, he was one of the greatest high school quarterbacks to come out of Miami-Dade and come out of Miami Northwestern. You look at kids like Teddy Bridgewater, Levante David, Sean Spence, Marcus Forster, several other, Anthony Gator. I can go on and on and on. These young men we mold and shaped into the men that they are today in this community. Well, even as a coach, you gotta have patience, but now as a mayor, you gotta have patience as well. Because there may be some things that the community may think is a good idea and it may not be. And sometimes you have to say no, sometimes you have to make decisions that are tough. But I think that's the cost of being a great leader, that you make tough decisions where it has to affect the most and not just individuals. And then sometimes you run into situations where people may not understand or may not have all of the information. And I always try to put myself in a position where I gather as much of the information as I possibly can get and then make decisions based on facts, not what you might hear in the street or what you might hear from somebody else. I base it on facts and how it's going to benefit the city of Miami Gardens as well as its residents. I've been in Miami Gardens now for 30 years, and when I first left Liberty City and went off to college at Iowa State University, I always wanted to live then in the Carroll City area. I always had dreams and hopes of one day owning a house. I used to ride out when I was a little boy, get on my bicycle and ride to Morningside Park and look out over the bay and look into Miami Beach and see those big buildings and say, why not in our community? Why we can't have stuff like this in our community? When I was able to move into the Miami Gardens area, you know, and I work in Miami Gardens, I play in Miami Gardens, I worship in Miami Gardens, got into a situation where I wanted to really make a difference. And in order for me to make a difference, Miami Gardens became a city. And my neighbors used to ask me all the time, why don't you run for office? Because we don't know who our council person is. Why don't you run for council? And I'm happy that the people trust me to do the right thing for the city of Miami Gardens, because I will do just that, the right things for Miami Gardens. I want to make Miami Gardens the most prestigious city in Miami-Dade County, if not the world. And in order for us to do that, we got to work together, and we got to be in a position where the people trust the mayor who runs the city. And we talk to people in the community, we talk to our residents, we listen to the residents of the community, and some of the things that they wanted to put in place. When I first became a council person, our park system was run down. It was terrible, it was dilapidated. And we had a vision of changing all that through a $60 million bond. We brought the $60 million bond, and now we're in the process of finishing the things that we promised to the people by renovating all of our parks. Our parks are now top-notch parks. We built 18 parks. We got a few parks that still need to be finished. We finished our senior center. We're in the process of building a STEM center and a place where we can have our kids participate in science, technology, engineering, and math. We got some things going on with 35 acres of land that we have that we set aside and we're building on. Our community wanted to have a place that they can call their own. They were tired of running out to other cities and spending their money in other cities, and they asked for bowling alleys and hotels and restaurants and entertainment venues right in their community. And we're building that on those 35 acres of land. Also, we're putting together a performing arts center that was part of the $60 million bond. So with that performing arts center, another hotel, we'll probably have 3 hotels on that site, and it'll be state of the art. But the number one thing, it'll be a place where our residents and our community can go, enjoy themselves, and even work. There'll be places and opportunities for them to get jobs. And when we look over the entire city of Miami Gardens, there's so much advancement and so much development that's taking place in the city. And I'm so proud of it that we're putting ourselves in a position, this is going to be a real world-class city. And it's gonna have everything that the people of the community ask for. And then it's gonna have an opportunity for our people to work, play, live, and just have a wonderful time in the city of Miami Gardens. If you're gonna be a part of Miami Gardens, you gotta be a partner with Miami Gardens. You gotta build a relationship with the residents of Miami Gardens. We want to ensure that our residents have a voice. We want to ensure that when they tell us that they need this or they want this, and if it's in the best interest of the city, then those are the things that we do. But when you come into and invest into Miami Gardens, you're not just investing in your business. You're investing into a community with residents who are very special to that community. So you're making an investment in the lives and changing the lives of all the individuals of Miami Gardens. So if you're gonna come, be ready to be a partner. I think the number one thing that has to be done is people gotta get out and vote. We have to go out to the polls on August 20th. We have to go out to the polls during the early voting period. You have to be able to cast your vote. That's the way you help us to continue this progress that Miami Gardens is making. You know, we have the number one polling place in Dade County at our regional library during early voting times. So we need you guys to come out and be a part of that. Be a part of, people died for the right to vote. So come on out and be a part of the solution and not part of the problem. Come out, vote, be a part of the growth of Miami Gardens, be a voice, and let your voice be heard. And be part of the change, definitely. The change is now, the change is here, and I am the change. Come be a part of it and help us to move Miami Gardens forward.
How you feel?
Man, it's a humbling experience to kind of reflect back now and realize that this little boy that grew up in Liberty City, man, that same little boy that ran up and down those streets, now is the mayor of the third largest city in Miami-Dade County. It's just amazing. It's a humbling experience, and it has been a humbling experience. And to be able to look back, I just wish just wish my family, my mother, my father, brothers, sister, could have had the opportunity to see the things that we've done and that we've accomplished. Again, just knowing where you came from and then being in the position where you are now. How good is God? How good is God? Gain that energy and strength through them. Because of the things that they taught, put us in a position where we are today. And now we try to teach that to future generations, and we try to teach that to people in this community. It's a great humbling experience. Wouldn't trade this life for nothing in the world. Nothing. This is my story. It's who I am, where I came from.